I wear pants when I'm podcasting at all. I'm never doing it again. Hey, everybody, welcome. It is Monday night. Welcome to MCU Mondays. We are glad you are here. Debbie, are we on? You've got that look on your face.
I don't know, there's always like a 10-second delay and it freaks me out. So
That's
I'm
okay.
like, where is it? Where is it?
I just got the notification.
I was going to say, my phone just
the
dinged.
notification.
We are live. Yeah. Welcome to MCU Mondays. I am your host, David. We are glad you joined us this evening, this Memorial Day evening, for those of you here in the United States, for those of you out and about and abroad. It's an American holiday. We had the day off today, but guess what? The MCU crew is still here, mainly because we have to go to work tomorrow, so we might as well get back into the swing of things. With me, as always, tonight is my co-host, Debbie. Debbie, how are you this evening?
I don't want to go to work tomorrow.
I don't want to go to work tomorrow either.
I really don't. I've had a 4-day weekend. I didn't even know what today was. I realized about 15 minutes ago, I was like, oh, we got a show tonight.
I kept checking my watch because I was like, oh, I can't fall asleep. I can't, because that would have been I would have just dozed off in my chair, or I would have run off and gone and done something and then looked at my watch and go, oh my gosh, it's 8:20. I need to be back home. I got to go. So, man, I've been I've been not panicking, but I've had it it's been an itch on my brain since like 3:00 this afternoon. So I've just been watching the clock meticulously. Also with us tonight, as he always is, Mr. Andrew. Andrew, how are you this evening?
I'm doing good. I'm out enjoying the summer, but I will probably be getting a job soon, so I will be able to relate.
Oh, you don't have to work tomorrow. I see how it is.
No work on Mondays or Thursdays.
Yep. But I do have to get a job soon, so.
Well, yeah, Mom said you got to get a job so you can buy her some V-Bucks.
Otherwise,
I'm
kicked out. Yeah. Exactly. V-Bucks are kicked out. So I got to pick one of the two. How else do you
expect her to pay for her skins? Such uber ponage. So anyway, we are here. We had last week off. I had a business trip. I was in. I thought I was going to Topeka. It wasn't Topeka. It was Kansas City. Kansas is beautiful this time of year. It really is. It was nice part of the country.
No tornadoes.
We drove through some of the damage in Oklahoma. There had been some tornadoes. We left on Monday morning, and on that Sunday evening, I believe there had been some tornadoes that had plowed through Oklahoma, and we drove through some of the damage. But there was one that hit here in Texas, up at my mother-in-law, up close to my mother-in-law's house last night. That was it last night or night before last? Night before last. That one in Valley View. That it killed like 7 people, injured like 40 or 50 of them. I mean, it was pretty bad. It was pretty rough. So
there just seems to be a lot of tornadoes this year, and you hear about a lot of tornadoes, but this year it just seems to be too many.
Well, we didn't have much of a winter this year, so maybe this is Mother Nature just striking back, saying, "All right, you had a nice, easy winter. Let's do spring and summer now."
I don't know, but
well, you know what, David? The fans want to know: were there any Taylor Swift sightings since you were in Kansas City?
Had there been, I would not have cared.
He probably wouldn't know her if he's seen her. or Kelsey either.
I do know that one of the guys that I was with he wanted to buy a not Kelsey, who's the quarterback? Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes. He wanted to buy one of his jerseys while he was there, just because. And apparently to buy a Patrick Mahomes jersey in Kansas City is going to cost you around $200. And he was like, nope, screw that. Not doing that.
Jeez.
Holy crap.
That's what I said. So.
Gosh.
I was like, well, what are you going to do? But it's all good. It's fine. No, I did not. I did not see Taylor Swift that I know
What
of.
David's not telling us is he secretly bought one.
What? A Mahomes jersey? All right, I'm going to tell you a story.
Yeah.
I got a real quick one. When I first got married, we got married in December. So for Thanksgiving, we went to my future in-laws' house, and then for Christmas, of course, we were at my future in-laws' house. Both times, I was wearing like a Star Wars shirt, my typical wear. Well, they got mad at me, and they were like, "Well, why aren't you wearing Why aren't you wearing Cowboys stuff? You need to be wearing Cowboys stuff because we're watching the Cowboys game." I'm like, "But I don't own any Cowboys stuff. I don't care. It never appeals to me." So for Christmas that year, I got a hat, I got a shirt, I got the knit cap, I got gloves, I got t-shirts, I got underwear, I got everything Cowboys. And I was like,
Goodness.
I don't want this stuff. So I returned it all. Or I had them return it, and I was like, and they bought it, just kind of as a joke. Well, that was also the year that Emmitt Smith won the rushing record for the Dallas Cowboys. And so I went out and bought an Emmitt Smith jersey. So I do have one Emmitt Smith jersey that I wear. I've worn for the last 20 years now to my in-laws on Thanksgiving and on Christmas so that they can see, hey, look, I've got Cowboy stuff. Don't buy me any of it. I don't need it. I'm good. Now I wear a Star Wars shirt underneath it so my skin doesn't burn, but whatever. Anyway, all right. Yeah. Let's run the what if we run the intro real quick, and then we will get right into X-Men 97 season finale. So let's run this clip. Here. Yay! X-Men 97. Help me out here. It's not. Is it Acceptance? No. What is it? What's the title?
Tolerance is Extinction.
Tolerance of Extinction.
Tolerance is Extinction. I've got to say, I watched it initially when it first aired, and then we didn't get to talk about it last week, so we get to talk about it this week. So I watched it again. I've got to say the artwork in this one was just for some reason it just completely appealed to me. I loved it. I thought it was so good. The way it was drawn, the way it was done. It looked like a comic book, and that's the way it should be because we're dealing with comic book characters. So I thought it was amazing. It just really, besides this, the story in and of itself was not horrible. It was really good. Bastion has played quite the bad guy throughout all of this series. You've obviously find out that he's behind it all, but just the way it looked, just the stylization of it all, just this episode, for some reason, just this episode really appealed to me. I don't know, because it's been the same throughout the entire series. I don't know why this episode just stuck out to me. But Debbie, what were your thoughts on this? We've got a longer episode. This was a 45-minute episode, so season finale and everything, and I'm gonna hanker a guess that we're gonna get a second season, just because.
Mm-hmm. It's already being written.
It said to be continued. So at the end of this episode, spoiler alert, by the way, to be continued. But thoughts on this episode overall? Just overall.
It was all right.
Debbie's not a big cartoon fan.
Well, that's not true because I watch Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I just had a hard time getting into this, and maybe it's because I don't know the backstory on all of this because I know the movies, but this is different from the movies, so I'm out of my
story
element.
style.
Yeah. I mean, today I was watching X-Men First Class, and I don't know why, but I decided to watch Dark Phoenix. Only because I haven't seen it for so long. But yeah, I do my yearly.
You've offended Andrew.
Offended Andrew.
Yeah.
I did my annual Memorial Weekend watches. I watch Jaws every year.
Jaws is 4th of July movie.
It's the beginning of summer. I don't care.
Okay.
I watch Jaws every Memorial Weekend. And then I watch
her ways, David.
Yeah, exactly. And then I watch a bunch of war movies. You know, I'm Saving Private Ryan and about 20 others I could probably roll off, but I won't bore you with that. So, but anyways, yeah, there's just so much backstory to the Marvel animated series that I'm just not familiar with, and maybe I just need to sit down and watch a bunch of them, which there's a ton.
There's like what four seasons of the original series, maybe, and honestly, if you really want to boil it down, you kind of have to watch the old Spider-Man that was like the mid '90s Spider-Man 2, because there was some
crossover episodes there
with the X-Men and the Spider-Man. So it was like, I mean, you don't have to watch them, but it's good to watch them because then that way you kind of know what's going on in Spidey's life too, and why all of a sudden he's at the X-Men mansion.
So now, see,
and MJ,
yeah.
I want to say the 60s, but I don't think. I think my brain is remembering incorrectly, but we used to watch. My brother Dave was huge Spider-Man fan. I mean, he had all the Spider comics, and we would watch. I swear to God, it was on Sunday mornings. They would have Spidey cartoons or one Spider cartoon, but maybe it was the 70s because. I mean, I was born in the 60s, but I shouldn't be able to remember Spider-Man in the 60s, and I don't even know if they had cartoons in the 60s on Spider-Man.
There was, and it's on.
But it had the Spidey theme song, so
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web.
So that's about the limit to my Marvel cartoon knowledge, and I barely remember those. I remember certain things and whatever, and that my brother was a huge fan, and that I had to shut my mouth when that was on, or else he'd get mad because he was 10 years older than me.
I know exactly which one you're talking. It's actually on what you call it? It's on
Is it on Disney Plus?
It is on Disney Plus. The older one is, yeah.
What's it called?
I don't. It's called. I think it's called Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
I think it is. But there was also,
you just keep clicking on all the animated series until
there was also a live action Spider-Man TV show that was on around the same time as the Hulk with Lou Ferrigno and Bill Bixby.
Yeah, I remember the TV show. I think I watched it. I don't think I was impressed with it.
I don't remember very much of it.
I watched the Wonder Woman show.
Linda Carter?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody likes Linda Carter. So anyway, yeah, Spider-Man.
It was all right.
And again, we had a lot of cameos in this one too. Silver Samurai, you had Captain America, you had Iron Man, you had Spider-Man, Peter Parker and Mary Jane were there from the old '90s show. Which, Andrew, you said something about that, and my one of my older kids had said something about that too, and I was like, I didn't even notice until today when I watched it again today. I was like, oh, there he is. And then he said, yeah, but Mary Jane was like at the end of that Spider-Man series, they lost Mary Jane, and Mary Jane went away, and I guess he found her now. And I'm like, I don't
It's
remember.
news to me.
I said the last time I watched through the end of that Spider-Man was back in the mid '90s, and I've slept since then. So,
if I remember correctly, the '90s series ends with Peter and Madam Web trying to find Mary Jane. They leave to.
I think that's what he said too, and I'm like, I honestly don't even remember. So,
no, I watched that last weekend.
What, Madam Web? Yeah, apparently Andrew's watching it now. There's no mention of Madam Web looking for Spider-Man for Mary Jane in the movie?
Well, Peter isn't even born yet.
I was well, that makes sense because Madam Web in the animated show was like an older lady. So, and here you're dealing with younger folks.
Yeah.
So
it's set in 2003 is where the movie set. And so, in this timeline,
that's
Peter
ancient. That's practically ancient.
That's vintage.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. Back in the day.
I cannot stand that.
I know.
God, that drives me crazy because collect Star Wars. I used to collect Star Wars, and then when I would say I want some vintage Star Wars toys, it was the stuff I grew up with in the 70s and the 80s. That was the vintage Star Wars toys. And now I look online and it's like, oh, we've got vintage Star Wars toys. These are all from episode 1. I'm like, that's not vintage. What are they now? Antique? I need antique Star Wars toys, not vintage. I need the antique.
You can go as early as Revenge of the Sith, and it'll say
vintage
Star Wars from that marketing.
Geez, that's only 20 years ago.
That
what
makes
are you
me
talking
feel
about?
Old.
Yeah, I've got the and I think I've worn them a few times on here. The Phantom Menace and some of the other first 3 tie-dye, or they're kind of tie-dye t-shirts. Yeah. And I've seen them on eBay, vintage
shirts.
And they want, and oh my God, the prices they have on those. I was like, holy crap, I could be a millionaire because I got a crap load of those. But I'm like, how are these vintage?
Yeah. I don't know.
Stuff in the 50s and 60s are vintage. Like cars.
No, now they're antiques.
Well,
I guess I'm an antique.
Or no. In Texas, they're not antique cars; they're classics. So maybe that's what it is. They're classics.
I can make my mom feel old because I'll tell her kids nowadays talking about the 90s is like 90s kids talking about the 60s.
90s.
Probably.
Mm-hmm. And then her back starts hurting, and I go, well, that's fine.
Tell your mom I feel her pain. I'm in the same boat with that back issue.
My kids will go. My kids are all in their 30s. Yeah, they were born in the late 80s and early 90s. And Mom, back in the day when you were a kid, or my youngest son, Andy, he'll come out and he'll go, Mom, I got an old people question for you.
Oh, you need to smack him.
I'm just like, thank you for that. Thank you.
Well, one time when my sister and I were little, my sister walked up to my grandma and said, Grandma, you have raisins on your fingers. And I said, Ava, you don't tell an old person they have raisins on their fingers.
You talking about
wrinkles?
Ava was looking
wrinkles.
The wrinkles.
Oh,
Wrinkles. And she called them raisins. And then I said, you don't tell an old person they got raisins on their fingers.
That's called wisdom lines. We'll call it that. It's just a sign of wisdom. Yeah. Anyway, back to X-Men. Since we're going all crazy and just completely not talking about anything.
Thor's. We need Mjolnir.
Yes.
Or Thor's.
We need Stormbreaker. We'll keep us on track with the Stormbreaker here. So, back to the X-Men. We've got Bastion doing his thing. he really is a very good bad guy. I liked when Rogue kind of went nuts on him. But in the same time, I was looking at it because, she started beating the crap out of him. And then he comes back and starts going after her and he grabs her. And I'm like, Rogue, take your glove off and touch him. Because you know what that's going to do? That's going to sap his power. And if anything, that will kill the human side of him. So Rogue could have stopped this a lot sooner had she just touched him.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't have a season 2.
You always say, David, they can't
you
kill
gotta
off the
let the
villains
show-
because then they
got-
can't use them.
Gotta let the
Yeah.
show happen. Yeah. Yeah. You had Sinister too. Sinister was doing his thing. They extract and Jean. Well, was it Jean or was that the clone Jean?
Madeline
Pryor.
Yeah.
No, I think it was Jean, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think so.
Because I don't think we've seen Madeline since Genosha.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to go back and
Doesn't
watch.
one of them get killed in this one?
Well, I think they all. Let me see how.
There's a bunch of people missing, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the episode,
so maybe it is Jean.
They're going through all the names and it says missing.
Because they started so Magneto's asteroid started crashing to Earth, and they all stayed behind to stop it. It was very Age of Ultron-esque. Is that a good way to put it? Because that was pretty much exactly what happened. And then someone or something sucked them back in time, and they split them. And two of them went to the ancient or several of them went to the ancient past, and the other ones went to the oh my gosh future, like the year 3000. 3000, and it was a lot.
Yeah, so the Egyptian one.
We all know what it is. There was no.
Is
there
it
was
Apocalypse?
No, it is Apocalypse. Yes.
Okay. Because I was like, I mean, it's been a couple weeks since I've seen the episode, so I'm only remembering bits and pieces as you bring it up. But I remember when that came up, and I was like, "Oh, are we going to get a cartoon version of Apocalypse?" Or
well, he was in the original series. He, if I recall correctly, he played quite a large role within the original series, within the original X-Men series. So he's already
Apocalypse, yeah. He was like a villain.
But they went to like old Egypt.
He kept coming
back.
back.
Is that going to be different?
Well, they went to ancient Egypt, which is kind of where he started, if I recall correctly. I mean, the movie actually, if I recall correctly, the movie actually did some justice to him as far as that goes, because he's always been like the first mutant, if you will. So so for them to go back, he's dealing with that, and then they jump all the way into the future, and of course he's like ageless. He doesn't age. He's just there. So him being in the future is it's almost like, okay, well, they drug him into the future to show that he's still there. So
well, they had those the gang who ended up in Egypt, they came across, I want to say they were sisters, but I don't remember the name of the group. The one that approached the X-Men, the ladies.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
What were they called?
I don't remember.
Well,
and I just watched it. That's how meaningful it was to me.
It was just like the
that wasn't
Astion or something.
Was that that wasn't the ancient one? That was in the future though, because the ancient one, they rescued the guy. The guy was getting beat up by all the guards, and they went through, and Magneto eventually somehow magnets work on gold, but he pulled them all out.
I could have sworn it was in Egypt.
No, it is the future, you see. Yes.
But I have substance then, so I apologize to our listeners.
She saw it this afternoon, took an evening nap, and now she's on.
I have had several naps this afternoon, so us old folks. Well, at least me.
Ancient,
antique ones, classics.
Classics. Well, yeah. I don't consider myself classic, but I do love me some classic cars, muscle cars in specific.
So yes, we all ended up with Apocalypse. Bastion ended up with the thing on his head. Thank you to the Phoenix. Gene said, I got my Phoenix back just to save my son. It was all very touching. And it's a lot of boom, pow, explosions. You were dealing with Charles trying to fix Magnus. We were wondering why he kept calling him Magnus, and he actually said his full name in this episode, and I was like, oh, well, there, they explained it. That makes sense now.
Oh, there was a cute little thing I noticed there at the end when they were going through all the names and they came across Magneto. Mm-hmm. Did you see it, Andrew, where they had Ian McKellen and Fassbender?
Eric Fassbender.
That's his aliases. Yeah.
His aliases were
aliases,
yeah. Well, they would have the first name like Ian, and then they had the last name like redacted. And the same thing with Eric.
Is it Eric? Yeah.
No, what is his name?
Michael.
It's
Michael.
Yeah.
They had Michael, and then Fassbender was redacted. And I was like, well, that is cool.
Nice little Easter egg. Way to go, guys.
I'm surprised I even spotted that. I don't spot much in this series, but that I did.
I want to go back and look at I mean, do we get Hugh Jackman as an alias for Wolverine? Do we get I don't even remember the guy's name. I don't
remember.
They had Scarlet Witch as Off-World.
Ah, yes.
I thought that was interesting. Not that this has anything to do with the movies, but
we need to get out the whiteboard and some string.
Yeah. Well, and again, the number of cameos that were in this movie. I mean, Psylocke was there just in this episode alone. There was some that I didn't even. Cloak and Dagger were both there. There was a lot that I was like, I know that's a character. I don't know who it is.
Yeah, I was like, who are these people?
No,
I didn't know who they were.
I've seen them. Like there's a poster at our comic book store that has like Marvel, and it's got like every character Marvel's ever done ever.
They are C-list superheroes.
Yeah,
you know, you recognize them, but you don't know their name.
I have no clue.
There's that guy.
Oh, hey, I know him. He was on that poster too. Daredevil was there, of course. I think he even had a line. Look at him go. Of course, we're all ready for Daredevil Reborn or
Born Again,
whatever it is. Just release the stuff.
Watch them do like Agatha, and they change it to Reborn. And David
Agatha's they already changed it again.
Yeah,
it's
Agatha all along.
Yeah, Agatha all along.
Yeah,
it's like
great marketing.
Come on, guys, get something and stick with it. You're killing me.
That was part of the marketing.
The Deadpool movie's probably going to change its name before it gets released.
Yeah, it'll change it to Wolverine and Deadpool.
Ridiculous. So, but anyway, yes, tons of cameos. And what was so odd too was that they were sentinels. They're these living sentinels, and these living sentinels are supposed to be going after mutants, but there's a lot of the characters that they were going after that weren't mutants. I mean, Iron Man, Captain America are not mutants. Cloak and Dagger, neither one of them are mutants that I'm aware of, that I know
Were
of.
they just going after superheroes?
Maybe.
I think at that point they just Daredevil
Daredevil's not a mutant, you know.
Yeah, but he's
Maybe
got maybe because of his powers or something.
Unnatural abilities.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just like an Ultron thing, to where it was like, we're getting rid of mutants and humans alike, and we'll just
start all over.
Yeah, we just got this everybody that's got this techno virus, and we'll just cleanse the earth, as it were. So anyway, overall, I have enjoyed the season. Thank God there was only really one throwaway episode, and really it was only half of an episode.
Thank
God.
I still don't get how her powers are useful.
You know what? He even made fun of it in this episode too, because she went and popped him, and he said, "What are you going to do? Hit me with the 4th of July?" I was like,
exactly. It's just like, God, she's just so annoying and useless. Just like, why?
Just a kid.
Hi, kitty.
Yeah. What do you think, Chewy? We gotta know.
Yeah, Chewy. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Quit moving my microphone.
She says, "I want to play. I want to play. I want to play."
Yeah.
Oh, Lordy,
man.
So anyway, overall, what have been your thoughts on this one? Andrew, you go first this time. What have been your thoughts on the series, just overall?
Well, yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, I'd give it a good 9 out of 10. I thought the animation was great. I can see, like, and Debbie's had this problem. I shouldn't even call it a problem. If you're not familiar with the previous animated series, you might be a little lost. Making full connections and stuff, but
one of the things that I've enjoyed about it, and maybe I'll go out on a limb and say this, but some of the stories that they've used, Days of Future Past, Dark Phoenix, and all that other stuff, it hasn't been like exactly word for word it's almost like it's a Reader's Digest version of the comic book. It's the same basic story and the same basic things are happening, but you're getting the highlights rather than the entire story from the comic books. And I think that's one of the things that I've really enjoyed about this, is that, and I look at it and I sit there and say, oh, well, you guys are making a movie about X-Men, and then it's like, or prime example, you're making a movie about Morbius. Okay, that's cool. Morbius was a great character, and then they make that piece of crap, and it's like, what did you do? You have a literal storyboard written out. Why did you deviate from the source material? Why did
Madam Web is worse? Madam Web is 100 times worse.
Tony, I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
Sony, I don't know. It's just
they did good with Venom, the first Venom, and then it just went downhill from there.
I love Venom. I can't wait for the next movie to come out. Because I'm a huge Tom Hardy fan, so I just love his character.
I heard a rumor that they're gonna zap that Sony's just gonna stop doing this Spider-Verse that they're working on.
Yeah, they should focus on the animated stuff.
I mean,
just focus all on that.
Well, they got Craven coming out.
Craven's coming, and they've got another Venom that they've greenlit. But I think they're done. I think they've looked at look at the box office numbers that Morbius had. Look at Madam Web just tanked. We need to stop and
there was a bunch of creators on TikTok today for some reason talking about, well, because they were talking about how Furiosa is not doing very well.
It's not.
And my son and I went and seen it. We loved it. We thought it was great. I think what's hurting the box office, well, there's a few things. One, the price. Number two, because of the prices, people can't go watch it 2 or 3 times like we used to. I mean, you know, when a Star Wars movie would come out, I would go see it several times. You can't do that now. It's just too, and it's just me.
Even the like even the I took the boys to see what did we go see? Oh, we went to go see the Phantom Menace over Star Wars weekend, May 4th weekend, and but even that, I mean, it was still for a matinee. For a matinee, you know, you're talking a show that's like 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, right? And even for what?
You mean the morning?
What?
You said 11 o'clock in the afternoon.
You know what I meant.
It just hit me funny that and then I seen Andrew's face and I was like, okay, I'm not the only one who thought that.
Yeah.
It's 9 in the afternoon. Didn't you hear that song? Panic at the Disco. Come on. No. But yeah, 11, 12 o'clock. And but even still, my ticket was like $9, $9 or $10. And him as a kid, as a 5-year-old kid, his was still like $8 or $9. And so that's $20 just to get tickets at that point. And then you go in and you got to get popcorn and drinks, and that's another. I mean, it costs for 2 of us to go to the movies. It cost us like $50 for 2, and that was for a matinee. So I don't even want to think what an evening movie would cost, because I'm sure it's got to be $11, $12.
Well, and
yeah, I think when, let's see, I'm trying to remember. I think it was about, by the time we bought, of course, the 2 tickets, and then I just got a drink, and then my son got popcorn and a drink, because I was taking him out for his birthday, and I think it was well over $30.
Yeah.
By the time, and that was a matinee. That was the first showing of the day.
And it used to be.
Go ahead. I
was going to say, it used to be, you know, a movie would be like 3 months before a movie would start streaming or be available to buy or rent anywhere. And now, like, look at the Fall Guy. 17 days after it's out in the theater, you can buy it digitally.
Yeah.
2 weeks, you know.
I was gonna watch it, but hell, just to watch it, or I just wanted to rent it, but it was still like $19.99 to rent, and I was like, Jesus.
But I'm sure a lot of people go, why go to the theater when I can just wait a month or 2 and watch it at home?
I can spend the $20, and that would have been my ticket to get in, and then I can make myself some microwave popcorn, or go buy me a candy bar, and I've got drinks at home. I can drink water or whatever, and not spend that much. That's exactly what it is. And I blame COVID for all of that, because that really did a number on people, to where they were releasing movies and like, well, we're supposed to have this movie, but because of the pandemic going on, we have to release it digitally, and people can just watch it that way. I know, it was the live action Mulan was Disney, where they did that, and I think
Black Widow,
the same day purchase,
to where it was like, oh, you can go watch it at the theater, or you can just get it on Disney Plus. And a lot of people are like, I'll just get it on Disney Plus because it's cheaper. It's going to cost me the same to see the movie, but I don't have to buy snacks and crap while I'm there.
Well, and in 2021, at the time, HBO Max had that deal where they did same day release, and it was free to watch.
It was free,
you know, you could watch. So it's like, why go pay when I can just watch it here? I mean,
King Kong versus Godzilla, the first Kong versus Godzilla was like that. And Wonder Woman 1984. God help me, I watched that one.
Well, you know, one movie that surprised me was Dune was one of those, but it still made almost $500 million at the box office, even with that.
Still haven't seen Dune 2. I'm sorry, Cam. Impressive. I haven't watched it yet. It's on HBO.
I already got it on Blu-ray.
It's on my list of things. I know it's on Max, and I watched it,
Cam.
I haven't done it yet. I'm sorry.
It was much better than the first one.
Oh, okay. Well, all right then.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was. It was better than part one.
Yeah.
I've been watching the Naked Gun movies all day today. Priorities,
Yeah.
Priorities.
But yeah, I mean, the Netflix co-CEO yesterday said that he thinks Oppenheimer and Barbie would have been just as successful if they were Netflix movies and did not have a theatrical release. And I went, no, they would not have. Not financially,
I
don't think they would have been as popular either,
I went and seen Oppenheimer. I did not go see Barbie. I waited till that came out on HBO.
That's what we did.
It was fine. It wasn't my thing, but I think
it
wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for you.
It was too long, in my opinion. It was.
Yeah.
It needed to be. Yeah. It needed
Oppenheimer could have been shortened. There was some stuff in there that I was like, I mean, great movie. I loved it, but there was some stuff that I was like, man, they could have just left that crap out and just shortened the movie.
2 or 3 scenes, right? Where you're like, I would have preferred the international version.
Yeah.
but
I had to watch like this.
Yeah, they could have left that out. I'm like, what does this bring to the story, really?
But then, too, something else and this really irked the crap out of me, too, when they started doing this. And again, COVID, I blame this on COVID. When I used to go prior to COVID happening, you go to the movie theater, and this was at my theater. It was it was at all Cinemarks. You could go in, and I want the #1 combo, and it was a big drink and a big popcorn. Okay, you go put your butter on your popcorn, you have your one drink, and that's great. And it was only like $13. And then it had a little tab on the side of the bucket. And when you got done with your movie, you could go out and get it refilled. So basically you got 2, and you could get your drink refilled too. And it was like 2 boxes of popcorn and 2 big drinks for $13. And it was great. Then COVID happens. And, we can't do that anymore because transmission of germs or whatever.
You might bring in germs.
Exactly. So now they've stopped doing it, and I'm like, and they raised the price on the combo, on the drink and popcorn combo, and it's like, well, we're charging more, and you don't get double portions, and I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah, well, back in the day when my mom would take my sisters and I to the Cinemark. She would get us those little like kid combos, it came with like the popcorn, the drink, and like a little candy or whatever. But that's not even a thing anymore. I don't think I've seen it there, but
so anyway, it's taken away from the movie experience, and that's why movies are hurting. I mean, it really is. This is, somebody called it once and said something along the lines of, the digital movies are going to be the downfall of movie theaters. And everybody kind of laughed at it because, no, people will still go to the theaters. Now you're starting to say, yeah, not really. The digital revolution.
I don't know. I think Deadpool and Wolverine will do really well just based on ticket sales alone, because I've seen people on TikTok showing, we don't have this option at my theater because I live in a small town. But where you can get your seats ahead of time and you can pick where you sit or whatever. And they're showing the screen, and the theaters are already pretty much sold out.
I thought you were going to say the necklace thing where some of the theaters have that.
Yeah, we ain't got that either.
Yeah.
I was like, damn it.
Well, Debbie, I tell you what, if they've got one at my theater, because I'm going to assume they're going to sell that separately, and that's going to be like a, because they have like a
included with the ticket.
Is it? Because
I think
I was going to say usually they sell them. It's like $10, and you got to make a donation. You got to make a $10 donation to some kind of charity or something, and you get it for free.
Well, this is like a claw machine.
Yeah, I thought it was included with the ticket. I'm pretty sure if your theater.
That I don't know. I've seen people on TikTok playing it because I guess they had it in the theater or not in the lobby of the theater for Furiosa, and people were, I don't know how because there's like a special coin you have to get And I don't know how they do that, but yeah, people were. It's like the claw that came down and got an egg, and I don't know if you got one half, and then you had to try and get the other half. Oh, you get both.
Yeah, you get both. Yeah.
So yeah. If anybody wins that,
Debbie wants one.
Me too.
And you're my bestie.
Yeah. You're my best friend. I don't know you yet, but you're my best friend.
Because I'd hang that in my car.
Well, and I wonder if theaters are struggling because movies don't feel like an event. Not every movie. I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine for me feels like an event.
Yeah.
But we went to when we go to evening showings for movies, sometimes there's like maybe 10 people in there. We'd take up half of that, my family and I. And it's like, oh, well.
Nobody.
That's what I like because, like I said, I have a small town, so it's a small theater. And so when I go on Saturday mornings, there's maybe 5 other people other than me, maybe 10, but it's usually really, really, really small, which me being a hermit and, anxiety and whatnot, it does very well for me. I love that.
Debbie's going, yay.
Actually, for me, going to see Deadpool and Wolverine is actually going to be not as expensive as I think it's going to be because I can't take the boys to go see this one. So it's like,
I'm going to be seeing it by myself. So it'll be super cheap.
I only have to buy one ticket. I don't have to share my popcorn. I can get it. I can drink what I want to drink. It's going to be great.
And I get the experience or whatever, but I know just watching like when Endgame came out, there's videos of people reacting to that, but it's like everybody is screaming and blah, 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 but then you can't hear what's being said. And that irks me. I really wish, because like during Furiosa, some of the actors have a really thick accent, so it was really hard to tell what the heck they were saying. I'm like, for the love of God, please put captions at the very bottom of the screen. I may not watch all of it or read, all of it, but just in those parts where I'm like, I can't understand what they're quite saying, and would just like to be able to look down and see what it is they're saying, because I have caption on all the time at home. Because there's shows that I watch that, like Bridgerton. I watch Bridgerton. And so there's a lot of, some of the accents are, I know. It's a
guilty
show.
Pleasure.
You're old, you're a girl. Of course you watch Bridgerton. Why wouldn't you?
Guilty pleasure.
Well,
right.
Even when I watched Sherlock, the TV series with
Benedict
Cumberbatch.
Mark.
Yeah. Some of the people on there, it was just, those two I could understand, but some of the other actors, I had a hard time.
English people are very hard to understand. If they're very
and
British,
it depends on where they come from.
It's the Australians, because like I'm with you, Debbie. I watched Beyond Thunderdome this weekend, and it wasn't. It was like the kids, and that's one thing because they were speaking half nonsense anyway, but even the little kid that was with the pilot, I'm like,
what? Rewind, watch it again.
Norway.
Yeah, I really wish they just put the captions in. What's it gonna hurt?
On the topic of experience, there are big TVs you can buy now for like $700, $800, and you get a sound bar. You've got a mini theater at home,
That's what I have.
Yeah.
I like the experience though, because I like walking in there and smelling the popcorn. I like being like when we went to go see Phantom Menace, that you're surrounded by fans. It's and Debbie, I know you're the hermit and you don't like that, and that's fine. But for me personally, it's about getting together with the fans and coming together with the community and saying, these people like this type of movie as well. And these are my people. I can talk to
I'm not weird here. I'm not weird.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not the geek here. I'm just the normal guy.
Well, see, now when I went take my kids to see Star Wars when they were little, when like Phantom Menace came, well, even the special editions when they came out, because they don't, to that point, they only had seen Star Wars on TV because we had the VHS set.
What's VHS?
So that was the only Shut up. And up to that point, they had only seen it that way. So when they came out with the special editions, I took them to the midnight showings. And at that point in time in my life, I mean, that was great. It's just that as I've gotten older, I could really do without. And people are rude now. They're not like they were back then.
Back in the day.
Well, you have people on their phones, right. Or they're just being dumb and rude, or they're talking,
and they think they're being cute. They're making they're getting. Oh, I'm posting this to the gram, and look how cute I am. It's like, no, you're pissing everybody off.
Yeah, it's on my Snapchat story.
Yeah,
exactly.
So, yeah, the girls making real here. No, shut up, get out.
Or you get your grandparent with you in the theater, and you got to tell them to turn off their phone.
Yeah. How do I do that?
Yeah. Because otherwise,
what
everyone's
they say, I didn't get that. Turn up your hearing aid, Grandma.
I saw Oppenheimer with my grandfather, and every so often when like Emily Blunt would talk or something, or Florence Pugh or something, he'd go, "What'd she say?" And I'd go, "I don't know now." Because you have
to look at them; they're pretty.
Yeah.
He didn't lean over and say, "That's not the way that happened."
I don't remember it going like that.
Yeah. He didn't. He didn't know about those scenes going into the movie, and I did. So he was like,
"Oh Lord."
Whoa. Yeah.
That's embarrassing. When you have to watch something embarrassing like that, especially with an older relative, mom, grandpa, dad.
Yeah. He said, "I'm going to teach you how to treat a lady." And that ain't like, whoa.
Your grandpa's cool. You listen to him. You listen to him. He knows best.
Mm-hmm. So, if a waitress smiles at him doing her job, he thinks he still got it.
I still got it, yeah.
Go, Grandpa.
Go get her. She's a quarter your age. Go get. She's a quarter your age, but go get her.
We have successfully completed this. Debbie, I'm going to assume we didn't miss anything, or you don't even know.
I have no clue. I have not taken notes for any part of this series because I just having a hard time getting into it. I'm going to have to do something before season 2 comes out. Have to adjust my attitude or something. I don't know.
You can watch a 20-minute recap video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is true.
Shameless plugs. What do we got tonight?
Tomorrow night is pretty sure is the Sith Dominion. We are doing part 2. We were kind of doing last week we did a Sith showdown where we kind of had some Sith in brackets and randomly picked, or somebody randomly picked, it wasn't me, who would survive against, like Nihilus against I forget who. And,
they're doing their March Madness challenge, basically.
Yeah, a little late, but so it's down to Revan and Nihilus against Palpatine and Vader. With no help from Luke.
Of course.
And Wednesday, probably a new episode of War of the Stars will be dropped. Thursday, we are back with Cantina Happy Hour. I don't know what we're doing. What are we doing?
We're doing... Okay, so last week we had a lot of fun. We recast A New Hope. We're killing time until Acolyte starts. So this is going to be our last episode before Acolyte starts. But with this episode, it's going to be a lot of fun. You should check it out. We're going to do dream projects. What do we want to see if we were in control of Lucasfilm? What would be something that we would want to do to add to the Star Wars universe? What story would we like to tell? What project would we like to see? So it's going to be fun.
And it can be any form of media. So
any form of video games,
you know,
cartoons, movies,
comic
TV shows,
books,
comic books, the whole kit and caboodle. It's going to be a blast.
I can think of a few just off the top of my head.
Oh, I've been thinking about it. So that's what we're doing on Thursday night.
So kind of like a Star Wars What If project, something like
that.
Exactly.
Exactly like a Star Wars What If project.
Okay. And then Saturday we have the Geek Gauntlet, and they cover everything.
Little bit of everything. And then we'll be back next week for MCU Mondays. We're not. How far away from Deadpool are we?
July 26th.
Oh,
just under 2 months. Yesterday was the 2-month anniversary.
Oh God.
2 months till, not anniversary. It hasn't happened yet. 2 months till.
We're gonna have to think of something. We'll think of something to do for MCU Mondays. We'll have. I guess we go back to Daredevil.
Daredevil. I was gonna say, yeah.
Oh yeah.
We'll go back to Daredevil.
We have Debbie watch the X-Men animated series from the 90s. We break that down.
I watched the first 2 episodes of that, and I don't know. It just, I guess in my mind, and I know it's a dumb way to think because I've watched all the Star Wars cartoons and whatnot, but in my mind, it's so hard because I love the movies so much, the Marvel movies, that it's hard to hear the different voices
of the different characters
for the cartoon. And I'm so used to having McAvoy or Patrick and Hugh Jackman, all of them characters. And I'm just, I don't know. It's just hard for me. I don't know why. Because I'm not like that in Star Wars. Well, he says that a lot. I never noticed that until I was watching some of the Marvel some of the X-Men.
It was X-Men Origins. I didn't say Bob. I said Bob.
He says Bob quite a few times, and I guess I never noticed that. And I thought, that's kind of cool. But I don't know why I'm having such a hard time. The only constant thing or consistent thing was that I still hate Cyclops.
Yeah. Everybody does.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm watching Dark Phoenix right now, and it's a different person playing Scott, and I still hate him. Just doesn't change.
He was in
cartoon or the movies. I still don't like him.
Ready Player One. If you ever saw that, the lead actor in that plays Cyclops. I don't remember his name, but
the main character.
His real life name, like the actor's name, I don't remember.
I mean, the main character of Ready Player One is the Scott.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't notice that. I love that movie.
And he's got the thing over the eyes in both movies. He's got. There's that cinematic universe
character. I don't know. He's just a jerk, and I don't like him. I don't like him.
Andrew, do you have anything for a shameless plug?
Not really anything to add. I'll be here Thursday and next Monday.
Of course.
Nothing with Red 5.
Well, yeah. So we are currently reading through The Living Force.
I saw that.
Yeah, we took off yesterday. We didn't have a meeting yesterday for Memorial Day weekend, but we will be back next Sunday talking about it. So this will be through June as well. So it's like a 2-month book.
Is it going? Is it good?
Yeah. So we're slowly into part 2 now. So the story's starting to pick up a little bit. Part 1 was the first 10 chapters, and it was, setting up the story. So it's kind of slow, but now it's starting to gain. We're spending more time with the characters, and they're on the planet.
I'm still
Quinn
reading
right now. Is the name.
I'm still reading Eye of Darkness, High Republic. In Yoda's been in this one, which I was kind of surprised, but he makes
Isn't he
quite a few.
Isn't he like 700 years old at this point?
Oh, I have no clue. He's on the Jedi Council. I know that.
He's just a young pup.
Oh man, that's funny.
All right. June. We've got June coming up pretty soon here. I will be at Fan Expo Dallas. I'm going to go talk to Tamora Morrison. I'm all kinds of excited about that.
I've heard they had quite a few cancellations.
I haven't looked. I'm afraid to look because if he's on the cancellation list, I'm going to be devastated.
I'm just going by what I seen Biscardi post something because he was like, "Oh, I hope Shatner didn't cancel" or something like that. I was like, "Oh,
I'll have to look."
I hate it when you commit to something. Why are you canceling? I mean,
I'm a
unless
celebrity.
you're sick,
I can do what I want.
I guess.
I don't know.
But anyway, I ordered some things. I've got a bunch of stuff I'm going to be giving away too. So if you're in the area and you come to Dallas to the Fan Expo and you happen to see me walking around, I will give you something for free. You have to come up to me and say,
Ooh.
"Hey, I know who you are."
I will drive the 3.5 hours.
So, is that in Chicago, bro?
Yes.
Okay. I thought he lived in Illinois or somewhere. I know he's close to me. Well, somewhat.
Yes. Fan Expo. He says, I love Fan Expos, and they really do a tremendous show. The group out there is great. We always have such a blast going out there. So, but yes, Fan Expo in Dallas. If you're around and you're in the area and you want to come see me. I'll be there all 3 days. And it's going to be great. But other than that, that's going to be it for us here at MCU Mondays. We will see all of you next week on MCU Mondays. Y'all have a great, great week. We'll be doing Daredevil when we come back. Don't forget to visit us on all the social medias.
He's dressed up as Deadpool.
Yeah, I think he's like might be more than 3 hours from me. I'm just north of Indianapolis. Well, not just north. I'm about an hour north of Indianapolis, and I think that probably make it about a 3-hour drive to Chicago.
Debbie's tricking you. She actually lives in Canada. So you're gonna drive to Indiana, and then you go to Canada, and she's gonna be in Cuba.
That's right. Anyway, don't forget to check us out on all the social medias: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, everything. We're all over the place. Geek News Now. If you're here on YouTube, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Hit the bell for notifications. We will see all of you next week, and y'all have a great week. See you there.
Shit! Language. No one else is going to deal with the fact that Cap just said language. I know. For gosh sake, watch your language. That's not going away anytime soon. You bet your ass.
Steve, he said a bad language word.
Did you tell everyone?
Outwit the platinum bastard.
Steve doesn't like that kind of talk.
You know what, Romanoff? Fury, you son of a bitch.
Ooh, you kiss your mother?